Hey, this is George with The Spread, and today we're breaking down the NFL Draft 2024 winners and losers. This is our breakdown of the teams that did really well and teams that did not do so well. But you know who a winner is all the time? This is brought to you by Jack Akuda's Seafood and Sushi located in Destin, Florida. Now I got to talk about this happy hour. This happy hour is a 100% winner. Daily happy hour, 3 to 6 p.m. All you can eat sushi, 11:30 to 3 p.m. daily. Back to the happy hour. Now, this is going to include $6 craft cocktails, $2 off all sushi rolls, 2 for 1 wines and wells, yes, 2 for 1, and $1 off drafts. Go to the website, jackakudas.com, for more information. And we're just so happy that we get to partner up with them on this show. So let's start with some winners. Are we ready? Let's start with the Green Bay Packers. Now, this team typically drafts very well, even though their fan base sometimes hates the picks at first. They want the sexy picks, but for years, that's what's fueled this Green Bay to be a great franchise. You know, I loved the Jordan Morgan pick. He can play either tackle or guard. He's going to play there for years to come. But I think one of the big steals in the draft is that Edgerrin Cooper. Played at Texas A&M, outstanding linebacker, SEC. He's going to be a great linebacker for that system. Another great player they picked up, I love the Javon Bullard pick, safety from Georgia. He's another plug-and-play for this defense. And finally, the Marshawn Lloyd, running back for USC. I think he's going to be a great player for years to come. Just an absolute home run for Green Bay. Next one I really loved, let's give a winner stamp of approval to the Arizona Cardinals. Really like what they did. They found at least, I believe, they found 3 to 4 starters from this draft. Right from the beginning, Marvin Harrison Jr., if you watched our draft special, we talked about him. He was going to go to Arizona. That was our prediction. He went, day one starter. Going to be absolutely fantastic. Darius Robinson, they needed help on the defensive end. On the line, they got him. He should instantly make that defense better. Another one I really liked was the Xavier Thomas. And then they also got some much-needed secondary help. They got the guy from Rutgers, Max Mutton, and they also got Elijah Jones. So Arizona, great job. Now we're on, this is weird to say, maybe it's a new day in the Washington Commanders. Love their draft. They got their franchise quarterback. Days leading up to the draft, there was all that talk from their agent. Were the Raiders trying to come up? Was Jalen Dalen trying to push himself to another team? But Washington, they got their man. Now, they've been starved, absolutely starved for a quarterback forever. But they kept the pick. They made the right one. And they made a great addition to the defense with Newton, defensive tackle from Illinois. Another great pick. And I'll tell you, another under the radar, I think this kid's going to be phenomenal. Ben Sinnott, the physical blocker, great catching tight end, played at Kansas State, correct? And he will punish the defender both, like I said, physicality and be able to get open. And then when he gets open, get out of his way, because if he hits you, you're going to go down. Now, I think this is a consensus. Everyone kind of picked this team as a winning draft, the Chicago Bears. And for me, this just comes down to the first round. That's what really won me over. I think this is a great pick. Now, on paper, because it is the Chicago Bears, they had a great draft, especially the relationship that's going to come from Caleb Williams and Rome Odunze, great receiver from Washington. Now, this could be a scary combo for 10 years. And think about this. This could be the first real franchise quarterback the Bears have ever had. Yeah, in the age of offense like this, we're talking about the first franchise quarterback this franchise has ever had. If anybody needs this guy to be good, it's the organization, it's the fans. They need a quarterback. So on paper, the Bears did it. Let's see if it comes to fruition. And finally, this is the gold standard of the draft class, I think, the Pittsburgh Steelers. I loved, yes, that's 3 loves, their draft. They addressed the O-line with Fontenot, Frazier, and McCormick. They're all on rookie deals. That's a fantastic move. Now they got their tackle, they got the center, and they have a new guard. Great call. That's what they do. Pittsburgh's always drafted great. This year was no difference. Now they also added a great piece for Russell Wilson with the pick of Roman Wilson, the slot receiver from Michigan. He made countless huge plays last 2 years there. And finally, the other pick I loved, Peyton Wilson, big linebacker from North Carolina State. The reason he was available, he did have some nagging injuries that brought him down some people's draft boards. But man, if he could stay healthy, you're talking about 4 or 5 starters from the first couple of rounds. The Steelers absolutely killed it. Now, a couple honorable mentions. I think the LA Rams had a great draft. LA Chargers, Harbaugh first year, I think they did well. I love what the Miami Dolphins did. They had a great draft. Overall, those are the winners. Unfortunately, when you have winners, you got losers. But before we get that, you know who doesn't lose? Who doesn't lose at all is the all-you-can-eat sushi at Jack Akuta's seafood and sushi restaurant here in Destin. It's 11:30 to 3 every day. Yes, daily. They have some of the best sushi in town. I'm a little biased. They have the best sushi to me. But you got to go in and try it. It's going to be very hard to find something like that. And all-you-can-eat sushi is available for $29.99. Yes, $29.99. You heard that right. But seriously, go there. Check out the website, jackacutis.com. You'll find all the information there. So let's jump into these losers. Let's make it quick. Let's try to make it a little painless for them. But let's start with the Denver Broncos. I know everybody's climbing all over themselves about Bo Nix, but for me, I just wasn't crazy about the draft overall. I'm not sold on Bo Nix being a starter in the NFL. I believe he's 24. He played like 1,000 years in college football. Played against a lot of younger guys, underdeveloped. He doesn't really have the strong arm, which doesn't mean too much. I don't think he has the accuracy for the NFL. And I think Denver's going to fall on their face here. They were quarterback starved because they got in that big thing with Russell Wilson. They didn't want to pay him. They shipped him out of town. They needed a quarterback. Sean Payton, maybe the game's passed him up a little bit. He seemed more concerned during the draft to talk about how they tricked Minnesota in trading up for them. Regardless, wasn't crazy about their draft. That's our first loser. The second one, Carolina Panthers. They are just a dysfunctional organization, starting with that owner and all the craziness he brings to the team. Here was a story from the draft. He stopped by a restaurant in the Charlotte area because they posted a sign, let the GM and coach pick the players. He actually came in and started arguing with people about the sign. The guy's legit crazy. Hey, he's a billionaire, good for him, but legit crazy. Organization run like crap. Their first pick, I did like it. That kid Leggett, the hometown kid from South Carolina. He should be an early weapon for Bryce Young, but then they picked, Jonathan Brooks, coming off a torn ACL, the running back for Texas. He's most likely not going to be playing early. That was strange considering that team needs major talent infusion right away. They need to put as many pieces around Bryce Young, and I don't think this draft helped at all. I just don't like it. It's going to be the common denominator in these losers. Most of these organizations are run like crap. Next one. Jacksonville Jaguars. If there's a team that you want to sell that stock, you sell it now. I don't trust their GM, Trent Baalke. Never have. Basically killed San Francisco at the end when they forced out Harbaugh. But getting back to this, his player selection is usually injury-riddled. They have injury histories. That he reaches for a lot of players. I know a lot of people did like the first pick, Brian Thomas Jr., the wide receiver from LSU. He's got decent value with that pick, and I get it. They need to get help for Lawrence because at this point, I don't know if they believe that Lawrence is the guy for them. His fifth-year option's coming up. I know they had to pay him. Wasn't crazy about Thomas, and I think a lot of other picks, I felt like they were kind of, I guess, they were kind of reaches for them. And I just don't trust the GM. He's never been phenomenal. So I didn't like their draft. And finally, everybody had the same feeling, the Atlanta Falcons. I thought maybe the organization was turning the corner. They signed Kirk Cousins to get some stability at the quarterback position, and now they can focus on the defense. They brought in Raheem Morris. They're bringing in a defensive guy. This all lined up for them to take Dallas Turner or any defensive end they wanted. But nope, they drafted Michael Penix Jr. after committing $90 million guaranteed to Kirk Cousins in the first 2 years he's there. This is why bad teams stay bad. Horrible management. Now, the flip side, if Penix turns out to be a franchise quarterback, they will all look like heroes and everybody will look dumb who talked about them. But with that staff and that GM, odds are stacked against it. I just didn't like their draft, and it started off with that. They're just another team. They need so much help, and they go with the quarterback. I just don't get it. I just don't get it at all. But again, hey, hats off to them. That's what they wanted to do. Bad pick. That's probably why they're not going to compete for a championship anytime soon. Well, that's it. We wrapped them all up. That's our winners. That's our losers. Hey, feel free to include who you thought were winners and losers this draft. And then we're going to start diving back for the people who watch this. We're going to start looking back at first rounds last couple of years and see who the true winners were. So let's be honest. You don't know who a true winner or loser is till a few years after the draft if the player actually lived up to the hype. But anyways, appreciate it as always. Like, subscribe. We're going to put more of this stuff out soon. Thanks again. Hope you guys enjoyed the draft.